Good morning, Rise Up Visionaries, medical freedom advocates, fans of Rise Up with Susan May. Today I want to talk about why I have been insistent since the start of Rise Up with Susan May, which I launched almost 18 months ago, that my family fared better in the last few years. Why was that? And I also want to share one thing that shocked me, that blew my mind from the past couple of years. Something that I observed that just really was quite surprising. Okay, so why do I always say that our family did better? That we were more equipped, that we were better prepared, that the events of the past 2 years just shook us less. Now, not to say that it wasn't hard. It was very difficult and challenging, just like it was for everyone. But there were things that made it possible for us to ride these past few years out with a lot more grace, a lot more peace in our hearts, to keep things a lot more stable for our children. So let's start with the obvious. The obvious, we homeschool, okay? So when things went crazy, when most kids' lives were completely turned upside down, our kids had a lot more stability. Now that doesn't mean that it wasn't still different. It was, of course. We were home a lot more than we were used to being, but we were really used to being together. And that is a huge difference. Like, just as far as like, it can get real irritating being around people. But we were prepared for that. So it was less disruption of our normal way of being. A big thing too was Carter. He is autistic, and he's our youngest, and he is non-speaking. We were not used to having therapy for him. In fact, we were just starting on that road. So when his program was canceled, he was supposed to start the day of things shutting down, which was pretty crazy. We weren't reliant on that, so that was huge. As far as health goes, we had already been avoiding doctors for years, and we had been taking high doses of vitamin C for years. So that not only kept us physically healthier, it kept us mentally and emotionally strong because we felt confident in things that we knew. As far as the media, I had been following alternatives for years and digging into narratives and propaganda. Specifically, the you-know-what. I had been researching for over a decade since our middle son was born. He's 13 now, so yeah, it was like 10, 11 years. And intensively, in the year leading up to the spring of 2020, I had been digging in again because of things that were going on in the world. And many of you will remember what that is. Now, I know a lot of you have the same experience. I'm not saying that my family is special in this regard. People that had been in alternative circles had similar experiences to us. Gotta let the dog out here. But, Yoshiko, compared to maybe people that were doing things more mainstream, and I know a lot of people have been kind of woken up by the past 2 years, we just had things a lot easier. But I want to go a little bit deeper, okay? Because these were just obvious things that helped us. One of the biggest things is that at first I wrote, I was comfortable with being different by this point. But it's really not that I was comfortable. Scratch that, okay? It was that I was okay with being uncomfortable. I had been doing things that were uncomfortable for me for years, and so I was okay with being uncomfortable. I had been questioning experts for more than a decade. Since our daughter was born, really, I had been questioning experts and learning to trust myself. And I had been having really hard conversations with people I love for years and years and years. These are things that most people simply do not do. And it's not that they're not capable. We are all capable of doing those things. Okay, so these were all things that helped my family and continue to help my family. And I think so many more people are ready now to do these things, but it's scary. I remember how scary it is to not know if I don't do things a certain way, if I don't do things the way that everyone says I'm supposed to do, what will the result be? And then that's going to be on me. And I'm going to tell you that the mainstream way relies on fear a lot. Think about schools. Everyone brings up their fears. Well, what about socialization? What about this and that? How do you teach your kid calculus? You know, everything is about fear to get you to do things the way they want you to do them. And when parents do want to pull their kids, they are often given a big guilt trip from experts in the school system to keep their kids in school, even when their instincts and their children are directly saying, I don't want to be here anymore, this is not good for me. As far as health and these things, all fear tactics. The dead baby card is pulled on parents to get them to comply. So the fear is real. And so it's hard if you don't know anyone who has done things in a different way. And so that's what I love to offer to people, not to tell people how to do things or that my way is the only way or the best way, but to reassure those who are contemplating doing things in a different way that it is possible. And I am someone who really thrived in the mainstream system. I like to call myself, I was the master of the mainstream. And so it was hard for me to leave the mainstream because I was good at it. And so what it required for me is it required me to dig deep because I needed to feel sure. And when I say dig deep, I had to do hours and hours and hours of research, like obsessive, to the point where you think, okay, Susan, that's enough. Okay, one thing that shocked me in 2020 and beyond is how the divisions played out. As an unschooler, unschoolers pride themselves on looking at the world in a different way, on not just listening to experts. And I will say that the vast majority of unschoolers fell into line. And they just did what they were told, and they tried to get everyone else to do that way. And that was shocking. On the other hand, the religious/conservative communities were the ones that were really advocating for liberty and freedom and individual rights and understood more strongly what was going on. Yet those communities are more likely to have authoritarian parenting practices. And I can tell you that we need to merge these two things. We need to understand that this libertarian, this liberty, freedom perspective needs to start with our children, with our babies, and go through our society. And so once again, I was a minority of a minority, which I am completely used to being. Like when I taught hypnobabies is the minority of the minority, because not only do we believe in natural childbirth, we believe birth can be a beautiful, empowering, even painless and enjoyable experience. As an unschooler, I was the minority of the minority. Not only did I pull my kids from school, I believe in radical unschooling, applying these principles of parenting and relationship to our whole family and our way of being. So I've been here for a long time, and that is, it's good. It's good for my family, but it's also my message to the world and what I'm sharing with you. I need to get going. So there's people that need me, specifically Carter. It's 9:59. There are 2 more hours for you to book my deal. It's my Black Friday / Cyber Monday coaching package. 3 coaching calls. It's 1 hour for each coaching call. You hop on with me and we dig into your specific needs with your teen or preteen, what's going on with you, and find ways for you to move forward and to feel more connected and to feel more confident and calm about the future. If you're feeling anxious about your child, but you're also not knowing what to do and you feel frozen because you're like, I don't know how to relate to this kid. Let's put our heads together, because when we put our heads together, when we both send an intention together, it's really, really powerful. I want you to know, whether you join me right now or not, I'm here for the long haul. This is just the beginning. This is just the start of you hearing from me. So I love you all, and I hope that your week is off to a good start. I know we're entering a very busy season, and I just wish the best for you all. So remember, be bold, be brave, be you, because who else is there to be? I'll be back soon, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye.